My chosen one, pause everything for a moment, because what you are about to hear is not sluchayakaki, not timing, not coincidence. It is a direct interruption from heaven itself. You did not arrive here by accident. Your spirit was guided, pulled, even urgently redirected to this very message because someone, yes, someone deeply connected to your soul, is standing at the edge of a silent storm right now. Feel this carefully. There is a bond between you and this person that goes beyond words, beyond logic, beyond what the physical world can explain. You may not even speak to them every day. You may not even fully understand why their presence lingers in your thoughts. But heaven knows. And right now, heaven is alerting you because that connection has activated. Archangel Michael is stepping forward at this very second, and his voice carries urgency. Not fear, but divine urgency. He is not here to confuse you. He is here to awaken you. He is here because the one your spirit is tied to is in danger, not necessarily the kind your eyes can see, but the kind your soul has already begun to feel. Have you noticed it? That sudden heaviness that came out of nowhere? That moment where your heart felt tight, where your thoughts drifted toward someone without reason? That was not random. That was a signal. A whisper from the spiritual realm trying to reach you before it becomes a cry too loud to ignore. Listen closer, because this is where it becomes undeniable. The person you are connected to is facing something right now that they cannot fully express. They are either overwhelmed, spiritually attacked, emotionally drained, or standing in a situation that is pulling them into silence. And here is the truth that may shake you. They are not calling you with their voice, they are calling you with their soul. And your soul heard it. That is why you are here. This moment is rare, sacred, a once-in-a-lifetime alignment where heaven trusts you enough to deliver this warning. Not everyone is chosen to receive such messages, because not everyone would understand the weight of it. But you were selected because there is something within you that can respond. Something within you that can act. Archangel Michael is making this clear. Time matters right now. This is not something to scroll past. This is not something to delay. The energy around this situation is shifting quickly, and what happens next depends on awareness, on presence, on connection. Do not doubt yourself as you hear this. Doubt is the first barrier that blocks divine action. Instead, lean into what you feel. Think about the person who just crossed your mind, the one you couldn't ignore even if you tried. That is not your imagination. That is your confirmation. Something is unfolding in their life at this very moment. And you are being called, not later, not tomorrow, but now, to become aware of it. Because heaven is alerting you before their cry reaches silence. There is something you must understand now. Something deeper than logic and far beyond what the physical world has taught you. The connection you feel with this person is not ordinary. It is not based only on memories, conversations, or shared experiences. It is an invisible thread, woven by divine design, that ties your soul to theirs across distance, silence, and even time itself. You may have questioned it before. You may have wondered why this person appears in your thoughts at the most unexpected moments. Why, even when life pulls you in different directions, something within you keeps circling back to them. That pull is not attachment. It is alignment. It is the echo of a spiritual bond that refuses to be broken because it serves a higher purpose. Archangel Michael is revealing this to you now so you do not dismiss what you feel. This is not coincidence. This is not imagination. When two souls are connected at this level, they become sensitive to each other's energy. One can feel when the other is in distress, even without a single word being spoken. And what you are experiencing right now is that exact phenomenon. Think back carefully. There have been moments, subtle, yet undeniable, when something felt off. Perhaps your mood shifted suddenly without reason. Perhaps you felt a wave of concern, a quiet restlessness, or even an unexplainable sadness that didn't belong to your own life. You tried to brush it away, to explain it logically, but it lingered. Those were not random emotions. Those were signals traveling through the bond you share. This connection acts like a bridge. When one soul trembles, the other feels the vibration. When one is surrounded by confusion or heaviness, the other begins to sense it, even if they cannot fully understand why. And right now, that bridge is active, stronger than it has been in a long time. What makes this moment even more significant is that this connection is not passive. It was never meant to be. You are not just a bystander in their life. You are part of their spiritual support system, whether you have realized it or not. There is a reason your soul recognizes theirs. There is a reason your awareness has been awakened at this exact moment. Archangel Michael wants you to see this clearly. Your presence in their life is not accidental. It is purposeful. There are connections that come and go, but this one carries weight. It carries responsibility, not in a way that burdens you, but in a way that empowers you. Because when heaven connects two souls like this, it also creates a channel through which help can flow. You may be wondering what that means. It means that your awareness, your thoughts, your prayers, your actions, they reach further than you think. They travel across that invisible thread and touch the very core of the person you are connected to. Even in silence, even in distance, there is an exchange happening. Right now, that exchange is urgent. The person tied to your spirit is going through something that is creating imbalance within them. Their energy is unsettled. Their clarity is fading. And while they may appear normal on the surface, something deeper is not at peace. That disturbance has reached you, not by accident but by design. And here is what you must not ignore. This connection was activated now because the moment matters. Timing in the spiritual realm is never random. When awareness is given, it is because action is needed. Not panic, not fear, but conscious, intentional presence. Archangel Michael is guiding you to trust this connection instead of questioning it. Doubt will only weaken your response, but trust will strengthen it. The more you accept that this bond is real, the clearer everything will become. You are not being asked to understand everything at once. You are simply being asked to recognize that what you feel is valid. That the person on your mind right now is not there by chance. That there is a reason their energy has reached you so strongly in this moment. Because the invisible thread between your souls has tightened. And it is pulling your attention for a reason that is about to become even clearer. Listen carefully, because what you are about to understand may explain everything you have been feeling without answers. The signs have already begun. They did not start today, and they did not appear loudly. They came quietly, almost gently, as if testing whether you would notice. And now, Archangel Michael is bringing them into the light so you can no longer overlook them. Spiritual distress does not always show itself in obvious ways. It does not always arrive as chaos or visible breakdown. More often, it moves in silence. It hides behind normal routines, behind forced smiles, behind moments that seem ordinary on the surface. But beneath that surface, something begins to shift. Energy becomes heavy. Thoughts become clouded. The soul begins to feel tired in a way that rest cannot fix. And because you are connected, you have already felt the echo of this. Think back again. There was a moment when your energy suddenly dropped without explanation. A wave of fatigue that didn't match your day. A strange sense of concern that came over you. even when everything around you seemed fine. You may have dismissed it, telling yourself it was just stress or overthinking. But it was not. It was the first signal reaching you through the bond you share. Archangel Michael is showing you that these signs are not random disruptions. They are messages. When someone spiritually connected to you is under pressure, whether emotional, mental, or spiritual, their inner state begins to ripple outward. And if your soul is aligned with theirs, you will feel those ripples. There are other signs you may recognize now that you look closer. Sudden dreams about this person, vivid and lingering, as if your spirit was trying to meet theirs in a space beyond the physical world. Repeated thoughts about them that you could not silence, even when you tried to focus on something else. A quiet but persistent feeling that something is not right, even without any evidence. These are not coincidences. These are spiritual indicators. Sometimes, the signs become even more subtle. You may feel a sense of urgency without knowing why. A pull to check on them, to reach out, or simply to pause and think about them deeply. It can feel almost like a whisper in your mind, gentle but persistent. That whisper is not your imagination. It is your awareness being guided. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this clearly. When a soul begins to struggle in silence, heaven often sends signals through those who are spiritually connected to them. Not to create fear, but to create awareness. Not to overwhelm you, but to prepare you. Because awareness is the first step toward intervention. Right now, the person tied to your spirit is experiencing a form of distress that has not yet fully surfaced in their outward life. They may not even fully understand it themselves. But their energy is shifting, and that shift has reached you. This is why ignoring these signs would only delay what is already trying to come into the light. Do not let doubt convince you otherwise. Doubt will try to tell you that you are overreacting, that you are imagining things, that there is no real reason to pay attention. But that voice is not aligned with truth. The clarity you feel in this moment, the recognition forming within you, that is where truth lies. You are being shown these signs because you are meant to recognize them. And recognition leads to response. This is where your role begins to take shape. Not as someone who carries fear, but as someone who carries awareness. Not as someone who panics, but as someone who listens and acts with intention. The connection you share is not just for feeling. It is for responding when it matters most. Archangel Michael is standing as a protector in this moment, not only over the person in danger, but over you as well. He is ensuring that what you feel does not confuse you, but guides you. That what you sense does not overwhelm you, but awakens you. Because this moment is not random. It is aligned. The signs you have experienced were the beginning. They were the opening of a door that is now fully in front of you. And what you choose to do with this awareness will shape what happens next. Before you move forward, receive this activation. Type I see the signs in the comments if this message has touched your spirit. Blessing code 3399 is now released over your awareness and protection. And as this truth settles within you, hear this calling clearly. This message is not just reaching you, it is moving through you. When you choose to support this mission, you become part of the divine flow that carries these warnings to the exact souls who need them before it is too late. Scripture declares, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse, it is a living promise speaking over your obedience right now. Say within your heart, "I am a vessel for divine rescue, and I answer this call." When you sow into this work through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link placed in every description and QR code, you are not giving to a channel. You are releasing light into someone else's darkness at the exact moment heaven has appointed. Do not delay this movement within you. Act as one who hath been chosen to respond. As you give, may protection surround you, may clarity increase within you, and may every seed you release return as a harvest of divine covering. Step into this moment and act now. There is a question forming deep within you right now, whether you have spoken it or not. Why you? Out of all people, out of all moments, why were you the one guided to receive this message? This is not a small question, and Archangel Michael did not leave it unanswered. The truth is powerful, and once you understand it, you will never look at your role the same way again. You were not randomly selected. You were spiritually recognized. There is something within you that responds to the unseen, a sensitivity that goes beyond logic. You may have noticed it throughout your life in subtle ways. How you can feel atmospheres when you enter a room. How you can sense when someone is not truly okay even when they say they are. How your intuition speaks before facts appear. These are not coincidences. These are signs of a spirit that is awake, or at least awakening. Not everyone carries this level of awareness. Many move through life focused only on what they can see and touch. But you have felt things you could not explain. You have known things before they happen. You have been pulled toward moments that later revealed their purpose. This is the mark of someone who is spiritually receptive, and that is exactly why you were chosen. Archangel Michael is revealing that when a soul enters a moment of danger, especially a silent one, heaven seeks out another soul who can receive the signal. Not someone perfect, not someone who has all the answers, but someone who will feel it and not ignore it. Someone who can become aware before it is too late. That someone is you. This is not about pressure. It is about purpose. You are not being asked to carry the burden of another person's life. You are being invited to participate in a divine moment where your awareness can make a difference. There is a strength within you that you may not have fully recognized yet. A quiet strength. One that does not always speak loudly, but acts when it matters. Think about your past for a moment. There have been times when you showed up for others in ways you did not even plan. Moments when your presence alone made a difference. Moments when your words brought comfort, or your silence brought peace. These were not accidents. They were glimpses of who you are when you align with your higher calling. And now, that calling is active again. The person connected to you is not just anyone. There is history in your souls, whether you understand it or not. Some connections are formed in this lifetime, while others carry deeper roots. But regardless of how it began, what matters now is that it exists, and it is being activated for a reason. Archangel Michael wants you to release any doubt about your ability to respond. You do not need to have perfect words. You do not need to fully understand the situation. What matters is your willingness to acknowledge what you feel and to act from a place of sincerity. Because sincerity is powerful in the spiritual realm. When your intentions are genuine, they carry weight. When your awareness is clear, it creates a pathway for intervention. And when you choose not to ignore what has been placed before you, you align yourself with something greater than yourself. This is why you were chosen. Not because you are flawless, but because you are open. Not because you know everything, but because you are willing to listen. Not because you are fearless, but because you are present even when things feel uncertain. Archangel Michael stands beside you in this moment, not as a distant figure, but as a guide ensuring that you are not alone in this responsibility. He is not asking you to step into darkness by yourself. He is leading you through it with protection, clarity, and strength. You may begin to notice now that this message is not creating confusion within you. It is creating recognition. Pieces are starting to connect. Feelings are starting to make sense. The person on your mind feels more significant, more real in this moment than before. That is because you are stepping into awareness, and awareness is the doorway to action. The question is no longer why you were chosen. The question is what you will do now that you know you have been. Because the moment has found you for a reason, and the role you carry is about to become even more important. There is something you must now face with clarity, not fear, because what is hidden can only be confronted when it is revealed. The danger surrounding the one you are connected to is not loud, not obvious, and not easily seen by the physical eye. That is what makes it so powerful and so urgent. It operates in silence, in subtle shifts, in moments that seem small but carry deeper consequences. Archangel Michael is bringing this into your awareness because what is hidden is beginning to grow. And when something grows in silence, it becomes stronger if left unrecognized. The person tied to your spirit is standing in the middle of an unseen conflict. It may not look like danger from the outside. Your life may appear normal. They may still speak, still smile, still go through daily routines. But beneath that surface, something is not stable. Something is pulling at them, draining their clarity, weakening their sense of direction, and clouding their inner peace. This is how spiritual danger often works. It does not announce itself. It only gives thought. It introduces confusion where there was once certainty. It creates emotional weight where there was once lightness. And over time, if left unchecked, it begins to influence decisions, actions, and even identity. You must understand this clearly. Not all danger is physical. Some of the most powerful battles happen within the mind and spirit. Archangel Michael reveals that the one you are connected to may be facing one of several hidden struggles. It could be emotional exhaustion that has gone too far, where they feel drained but cannot explain why. It could be negative influences, people, environments, or energies that are quietly pulling them away from their true path. It could even be a moment of deep internal conflict, where they are standing at a crossroads but lack the clarity to choose wisely. Whatever the exact form, the effect is the same. They are becoming disconnected from their strength. And when a person becomes disconnected from their inner strength, they become vulnerable. This vulnerability is where the danger increases. Because in that state, they may begin to accept what they would normally resist. They may begin to believe thoughts that are not aligned with truth. They may withdraw instead of reaching out. They may remain silent when they should speak. And this silence is where the risk becomes most serious. Archangel Michael is emphasizing this point for a reason. The silence is not peace. It is pressure. It is the weight of something building beneath the surface, waiting either to be released or to consume further. And this is where your connection becomes critical. Because while they are moving deeper into that silence, your awareness is being pulled in the opposite direction. Toward light, toward recognition, toward intervention. You are being positioned as someone who can interrupt what is unfolding before it reaches a breaking point. But you cannot interrupt what you do not acknowledge. That is why this message is direct. That is why it carries urgency. Not to create fear within you, but to awaken responsibility within you. The kind of responsibility that does not panic, but acts with intention. You may be wondering how serious this truly is. The answer is simple. Serious enough for heaven to intervene through you. That alone should tell you everything you need to know. Archangel Michael does not step forward without purpose. His presence here signals that this is not a minor disturbance. It is a moment that requires awareness, alignment, and timely response. The hidden danger is not yet at its peak. It is the mercy in this moment. There is still space for change. There is still an opening where light can enter and shift the direction of what is happening. But that window will not remain open forever. This is why you are being called now, not later. Because later may look very different if nothing changes. You are not being asked to carry fear about this situation. Fear clouds judgment and weakens clarity. Instead, you are being asked to carry awareness. To hold this understanding with calm focus, knowing that what is revealed can be aggressed. Archangel Michael stands as a protector over this unfolding moment, but protection often moves through people, through those who are willing to respond when called. And you are one of those people. The hidden danger has now been brought into the light of your awareness. You can no longer say you do not see it. You can no longer dismiss the signals as coincidence, because something real is unfolding around the one your soul is connected to. And the time to remain passive has already passed. What comes next will require not just understanding but action. There is a depth to this situation that goes beyond what words can express, and that is exactly why it has reached you in this way. The one you are connected to is not crying out loudly. They are not calling for help in a way that others can hear. Your voice, in the physical sense, may still be silent, but their soul is already crying. And that is what you have been feeling. Archangel Michael is revealing something very important now. Some of the most urgent cries are never spoken. They do not come through conversations or messages. They do not arrive as clear requests for help. Instead, they move through energy, through emotion, through the unseen channels that connect souls who are aligned beyond the surface. This person is carrying something heavy. It may be fear they cannot explain, pressure they cannot release, or confusion that has left them feeling trapped within their own thoughts. They may not even fully understand what they are going through. All they know is that something does not feel right, and no matter how much they try to push through it, the weight remains. Imagine standing in a room filled with noise, yet feeling completely unheard. Imagine trying to make sense of emotions that shift without warning, leaving you drained and uncertain. That is where they are right now. Not physically alone, perhaps, but spiritually isolated in a way that is difficult to describe. And here is the truth that matters most. Before their voice can reach out, their soul already has. To reach you. That pull you felt, that sudden awareness, that moment where their presence became impossible to ignore, that was not random. That was their silent cry finding a way through the connection you share. It bypassed distance. It bypassed silence. It found you because your spirit was open enough to receive it. Archangel Michael wants you to understand the significance of this. You are not just observing this moment. You are part of it. Because when a soul cries out in silence, heaven often sends the response through another soul who can hear it. And you heard it. There is something deeply human about wanting clear answers, direct communication, something you can hold on to with certainty. But spiritual moments like this do not always come with clarity at first. They come with feeling, with intuition, with a knowing that forms before understanding. That is where you are right now. You may not know exactly what they are facing. You may not know the details of their struggle, but you know something is not right, and that knowing is enough to begin. The danger in this moment is not just what they are going through. It is the possibility that their silence continues. Because when silence stretches too long, it begins to shape reality. It creates distance not just from others but from truth, from clarity, from hope. Archangel Michael is emphasizing this because the timing matters. The silent cry has reached you before it has fully taken hold of them. That means there is still space to respond before things deepen further. But response requires awareness, and awareness must lead to intention. You are not expected to solve everything. You are not expected to carry what they are carrying. But you are being called to acknowledge their silent cry and to allow that awareness to guide your next step. Sometimes, the most powerful response is not loud. It is not dramatic. It begins quietly, with intention, with focus, with a decision not to ignore what has been revealed. You may feel a growing sense of urgency now, and that is natural. But do not let it turn into fear. Let it become clarity. Let it sharpen your awareness rather than cloud it. Because you are not alone in this. Archangel Michael is present, ensuring that this moment does not overwhelm you but strengthens you. He stands between confusion and clarity, guiding you toward what needs to be done without forcing you into panic. The one you are connected to may not have spoken a word, but their soul has already reached out, and you have already received it. It changes everything. What you do with this awareness will determine whether their silent cry continues or finally finds its answer. There is a shift happening now, and you can feel it if you pay close attention. What once felt uncertain is beginning to take form. What once felt distant is now becoming clear. This is not your imagination. This is the moment where divine intervention begins to move into place. Archangel Michael is not observing from afar. He is actively present within the situation, standing between what is unfolding and what could happen if nothing changes. His presence is not passive. It is protective, strategic, and precise. And right now, he is working in ways that are both seen and unseen. Understand this clearly. When heaven intervenes, it does not always remove the situation instantly. Instead, it begins to influence it. It creates openings where there were none. It shifts energy where there was resistance. It brings awareness to those who are needed at the exact moment they are needed. You are part of that movement. Archangel Michael is revealing that the one you are connected to is not alone, even if they feel that way. There are forces surrounding them right now that are working to protect, to guide, and to prevent what could become something more serious. But divine protection often requires human alignment. It requires someone on the physical side to respond, to act, to become a bridge between what is spiritual and what is real in their world. That bridge is you. This is where your role becomes more defined. Not as someone who controls the situation, but as someone who aligns with what heaven is already doing. Your awareness is not separate from divine intervention. It is part of it. Archangel Michael is moving to stabilize the energy around this person. Where there is confusion, he is bringing clarity. Where there is heaviness, he is creating space for relief. Where there is vulnerability, he is placing protection. But these movements need reinforcement, and that reinforcement often comes through connection. You may begin to feel a stronger pull now, a clear sense that something needs to be done, even if you are not yet sure what that looks like. That feeling is not pressure. It is guidance. It is the alignment between your awareness and the intervention that is already taking place. There is also something else happening beneath the surface. The situation surrounding this person is not fixed. It is still shifting, still open to change. That means what happens next is not predetermined. It can move toward resolution, toward clarity, toward safety, but only if the right actions are taken at the right time. This is why timing matters so deeply in this moment. Archangel Michael does not delay when action is needed. His presence here is a signal that this is a critical point. Not the end, but a turning moment. A moment where intervention can prevent escalation. A moment where awareness can interrupt what would otherwise continue in silence. You may be wondering how you fit into something so significant. The answer is simpler than you think. You are not being asked to perform something extraordinary. You are being asked to respond to what you already feel. Because what you feel is accurate. What you sense is real. And what you do next matters. Archangel Michael is also protecting you as you step into this awareness. There is no need to fear becoming overwhelmed or lost in this situation. His presence ensures that you remain grounded, clear, and guided. You are not stepping into chaos. You are stepping into alignment. This is an important distinction. Many people turn away from moments like this because they feel uncertain or unprepared. But you are not unprepared. You have already been prepared through your awareness, through your sensitivity, through your ability to recognize what others might ignore. And now that preparation is being activated, the one you are connected to may not yet realize that help is already moving toward them. They may still feel alone in what they are experiencing. But the truth is, intervention has already begun, and you are part of that unfolding. Archangel Michael is ensuring that this moment does not pass unnoticed. He is bringing everything into alignment so that what needs to happen can happen without delay. But alignment requires participation. And your participation begins with a simple but powerful decision to not ignore what you now understand. Because this is no longer just a feeling. This is a moment of divine intervention, and you are standing directly within it. This is the moment where everything becomes real. Not just something you feel, not just something you understand, but something you must respond to. The time for observing has passed. The time for action has arrived, and Archangel Michael is guiding you with precision so that you do not hesitate or move in confusion. What you do right now does not need to be complicated, but it must be intentional. The first thing you must do is center yourself. Do not rush forward with fear or panic. That will only cloud your clarity. Instead, pause and bring your focus inward. Take a moment to become fully aware of what you feel, without trying to push it away. This is where your strength begins, not in reacting, but in grounding yourself in awareness. Archangel Michael is emphasizing this because clarity is your greatest tool in this moment. When your mind is steady, your actions become aligned. When your energy is calm, your connection becomes stronger. This is not about doing everything at once. It is about doing the right thing with intention. And now listen carefully, because this is where your response begins to take form. You must acknowledge the person who has been placed on your heart. Do not dismiss their presence in your thoughts. Do not tell yourself you will reach out later. The urgency you feel is not meant to be delayed. Even a small action, sending a message, checking in, or simply letting them know you are thinking of them, can interrupt the silence they are trapped in. You may think it is something small, but in moments like this, small actions carry great weight, because what you are doing is breaking isolation. At the same time, you must engage spiritually. This connection is not only physical, it is deeply spiritual, and that is where your influence becomes even more powerful. Direct your thoughts with intention. Speak protection over them, even if only within your own mind. Call upon Archangel Michael to surround them, to shield them, to bring clarity where there is confusion and peace where there is unrest. Do not underestimate the power of focused intention. When it is aligned with awareness, it becomes a force that moves beyond what you can see. There is something else you must be aware of. As you step into this response, you may feel resistance. Thoughts that tell you to wait, to question, to doubt whether this is necessary. That resistance is what keeps situations like this hidden and unresolved. Do not give it power. Recognize it for what it is, a distraction from what needs to be done. Archangel Michael is guiding you to move past hesitation. You are not acting blindly. You are acting from awareness, and awareness is your confirmation. There is also a deeper layer to this action. It is not just about reaching out or thinking of them. It is about showing up with presence. If they respond, listen without judgment. If they open up, allow them to speak without interruption. Sometimes, the most powerful support is simply being there in a way that makes them feel seen. Because feeling seen can break the weight of silence. You are not being asked to fix everything. You are being asked to create a moment where something can shift. A moment where they no longer feel alone. A moment where the direction they are moving in can change, even slightly. And sometimes, that slight change is enough to alter everything. Archangel Michael is standing with you as you take these steps. You are not acting on your own. Every movement you make with sincerity is supported, guided, and strengthened. This is what it means to be aligned with divine intervention, not to control the outcome, but to participate in it. Do not wait for a perfect moment. This is the moment. Do not wait for certainty. You already have enough. Do not wait for permission. You have already been called. Before you move forward, seal this action with intention. Type "I respond" without delay in the comments if you are ready to act. Blessing code 8811 is now activated over your actions and alignment. And as you take this step, understand this. Your response does not end with awareness alone. When you choose to support this mission, you extend this same lifeline to countless others who are in silent battles just like this one. The word declares, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days." This is your moment to release something that travels beyond what you can see. Say within yourself, "I move as a vessel of divine timing, and I will not hold back." When you give through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description and QR code, you are activating a flow that carries these urgent messages to souls before their silence becomes suffering. Do not hesitate in this sacred moment. Act with boldness. As you give, may doors open before you, may protection increase around you, and may every seed you release return multiplied with divine favor. Step forward now and act. There is something awakening within you now. Something that may have always been there but is only now becoming clear. It is not loud, not overwhelming, but steady and undeniable. It is the realization that you are not powerless in this situation. In fact, the opposite is true. You carry a level of influence in this moment that you may not have fully understood until now. Archangel Michael is revealing this truth so that you do not underestimate your role. Because what you carry right now is not just concern, not just awareness. It is power. Not power in the way the world defines it, but power that flows through intention, presence, and alignment with the divine. This kind of power does not force outcomes. It shifts them. You may still feel a sense of uncertainty, wondering if what you have done or what you are about to do is enough. That is where many people step back. They question their impact, and in doing so, they limit it. But Archangel Michael is making something very clear. You do not need to do everything. You need to do what you have been guided to do. Because what you have been guided to do is enough to begin the change. Think about the moment you chose to respond. The moment you acknowledged the connection instead of ignoring it. A moment you allowed awareness to turn into action. That moment alone created a shift. It interrupted the silence. It introduced presence where there was absence. And that presence carries more weight than you realize. When a soul is in distress, even the smallest sign that they are not alone can begin to break the hold of that distress. It may not solve everything instantly, but it changes the direction. It opens a path where there was none. And you created that opening. Archangel Michael is working through that opening now. Where your action has created space, His presence is moving to fill it with protection, clarity, and strength. This is how divine alignment works. It is not separate pieces acting alone, but a connection between your willingness and heaven's response. You may begin to notice subtle changes, a shift in your own energy, a sense of calm replacing the urgency you felt before. That is not because the situation has disappeared. It is because you have stepped into your role, and that alignment brings stability. There is also something happening on the other side of this connection. The person you reached out to, the one you have been thinking about, they are feeling something too. Even if they cannot explain it, even if they do not immediately respond. The energy has shifted. The silence has been interrupted. And that matters more than you know. Because silence is where distress grows strongest. By stepping in, you have weakened that silence. Archangel Michael wants you to hold on to this understanding. Not as pride, but as clarity. You are capable of influencing moments that seem beyond your reach. Not by controlling them, but by aligning with what is already moving. There is also a deeper truth you must accept now. You were given this awareness because you are trusted with it. Trust is not given lightly in the spiritual realm. It is placed where there is readiness, even if that readiness is still growing. And you have shown that you are ready by choosing not to ignore what you felt. This is where your power becomes steady. Not in one action, but in continued presence. You may feel the need to stay connected, to remain aware, to not completely step away from this situation. That is not attachment, it is alignment. As long as you approach it with calm clarity and not fear, it becomes a source of strength rather than pressure. Archangel Michael is guiding you to maintain this balance, to remain present without becoming overwhelmed, to stay aware without losing your own grounding. Because your strength comes from stability, not from urgency. What you carry right now is enough. Your awareness is enough. Your action is enough. Your presence is enough. And as you continue to hold this space with intention, you allow divine intervention to move more freely through this connection. This is not the end of the moment. This is the strengthening of it. Because now, you are no longer questioning your role. You are standing within it. And that changes everything that follows. There is something you must face with complete honesty now, not to create fear, but to bring clarity to the weight of this moment. Every message, every sign, every feeling you have experienced was not given lightly. It carried purpose. And when purpose is ignored, it does not simply disappear. It leaves a gap where something important was meant to happen. Archangel Michael is not here to pressure you, but he will not hide the truth either. When awareness is given, and no action follows, the silence that was meant to be interrupted continues to grow. And when silence grows unchecked, it begins to shape outcomes in ways that could have been prevented. The one you are connected to is still in a vulnerable state. The situation surrounding them has not vanished. It has only been met with the possibility of change. That possibility depends on movement, on presence, on the willingness to respond. If that response fades, the weight they are carrying may deepen instead of lifting. This is not about blame. It is about understanding impact. There are moments in life that pass without consequence, but there are also moments that carry a turning point within them. This is one of those moments. A moment where awareness was placed in your hands before the situation reached its peak. A moment where intervention could alter the direction of what is unfolding. If this moment is ignored, the silence returns. And silence, in this situation, is not neutral. It allows confusion to remain unchallenged. It allows heaviness to settle deeper. It allows the person you are connected to continue believing they are alone in what they are facing. Over time, that belief becomes stronger. It shapes how they think, how they feel, and ultimately how they act. Archangel Michael is revealing this not to burden you, but to show you the importance of consistency. One action is powerful, but continued awareness is what sustains the shift. If you step back completely, if you convince yourself that what you felt was not real, you disconnect from the very alignment that was created. And when alignment is broken, intervention weakens. You may be tempted to tell yourself that someone else will step in, that another moment will come, that this is not solely your responsibility. But this is not about ownership. It is about participation. You were given this awareness because you are part of this moment, not separate from it. Ignoring it does not remove your connection. It only delays your response. And delay, in situations like this, can change outcomes. The one you are connected to may continue to struggle without clarity. They may withdraw further into themselves. They may make decisions from a place of confusion rather than strength. And all of this can happen quietly, without anyone else noticing, because the signs are not always visible. That is why your awareness mattered from the beginning. Archangel Michael wants you to see that your role is not to carry fear about what could happen, but to recognize the value of what you can do. Because what you can do is not small. It is not insignificant. It is not easily replaced. Your presence disrupts what would otherwise continue. Your awareness brings light into what would remain hidden. Your action creates movement where there would be none. If you step away from that, the situation does not immediately collapse, but it loses a source of support that was placed there for a reason. This is the reality of this moment. You are not being asked to live in constant worry or to carry something beyond your strength. You are being asked to remain aware, to stay connected in a way that allows intervention to continue flowing through you. Archangel Michael is still present. His protection has not been withdrawn. His guidance remains available. But guidance must be followed to have an effect. You have already taken steps. You have already responded. That matters. But what comes next matters just as much. Because this moment is not a single point. It is a process. And processes require continuation. If you choose to stay aligned, to remain present, to not dismiss what has been revealed, you strengthen the path toward resolution. If you choose to step away to silence your awareness, the path becomes uncertain again. The choice is not forced upon you, but it is placed before you. And what you choose now will influence everything that follows. Something has shifted, and whether you fully see it yet or not, the turning point you were hoping for is no longer ahead of you. It has already begun. The moment you chose to listen instead of ignore, the moment you allowed awareness to guide your actions, something in the unseen realm moved. And that movement is now unfolding into real change. Archangel Michael is revealing this so that you do not fall back into doubt. Because doubt will try to convince you that nothing has happened yet, that everything is still the same, that your actions were too small to matter. But that is not truth. The truth is, change does not always appear instantly in visible ways. It begins beneath the surface, where direction is quietly being redirected. The one you are connected to is already experiencing this shift, even if they cannot fully explain it. The weight they were carrying has been interrupted. The silence they were sinking into hath been touched. Something has entered their space, something that was not there before. And that something is the result of alignment, of awareness, of intervention. This is how turning points work. They do not always arrive with dramatic moments or sudden clarity. Sometimes they begin as subtle changes, a thought that feels different, a moment of pause where there would have been reaction, a feeling of relief that comes without explanation. These small shifts are not insignificant. They are the beginning of a new direction. Archangel Michael is actively strengthening this direction right now. Where confusion once held space, clarity is beginning to form. Where heaviness once dominated, there is now a slight opening. It may not yet be complete, but it is enough to begin. And you played a role in that. This is what you must understand deeply. Your response was not isolated. It connected with something greater. It aligned with a movement that was already waiting for your participation. And once that alignment was established, the outcome was no longer fixed. There is still more to unfold, but the most critical part has already happened, the interruption of what would have continued unchecked. And now, instead of silence growing stronger, awareness is present. Instead of isolation deepening, connection has been reintroduced. Instead of direction remaining uncertain, a path is beginning to take shape. Archangel Michael wants you to remain steady in this phase. This is not the time to step back or assume everything is complete. This is the time to stay grounded, to continue holding awareness without forcing outcomes. Because when a turning point begins, it needs space to fully develop. You may notice changes in yourself as well. A sense of calm that replaces the urgency you felt earlier. A quiet confidence that what you did mattered. A feeling that something is being handled, even if you cannot see every detail. This is not illusion. This is alignment settling into place. The connection you share with this person is also stabilizing. It is no longer only carrying distress. It is now carrying influence. Your awareness is not just receiving signals anymore. It is helping shape the direction those signals move in. This is growth. This is movement. This is the beginning of resolution. Archangel Michael stands firmly within this moment, ensuring that what has started continues to move forward. His presence is not fading, it is strengthening. Protection remains over both you and the one you are connected to. Guidance is still active, and the path ahead, while not fully visible, is no longer uncertain in the same way it was before. You have crossed a critical point. You are no longer at the beginning of awareness. You are within the process of change. And that changes how everything unfolds from here. What once felt urgent is now becoming intentional. What once felt unclear is now becoming directed. What once felt heavy is now beginning to lift. This is the result of responding when it mattered. And now, as this turning point continues to unfold, you are not just watching it happen. You are part of what is making it happen. Hold on to that truth. Because the moment you are standing in right now is no longer about what could go wrong. It is about what has already begun to go right. Beloved soul, feel the stillness that is beginning to settle around you now. What once felt urgent, heavy, and uncertain is no longer surrounding you in the same way. There is a quiet shift taking place, a calming presence that is wrapping itself around both you and the one you are connected to. This is not by chance. This is the result of alignment, of awareness, and of divine intervention fully stepping into place. Archangel Michael is here, not with urgency now, but with assurance. The storm that once threatened in silence hath been interrupted. The path that once felt unclear has been redirected. And most importantly, the one you carry in your spirit is no longer standing alone in what they were facing. Whether they realize it yet or not, protection has been placed over them. A covering that shields, guides, and gently leads them back toward stability. You may not see every detail of what is happening, and you do not need to. Faith is not built on seeing everything. It is built on trusting what has already been set into motion. and what has been set into motion is good. Archangel Michael is sealing this moment with peace. Not a temporary calm, but a deeper peace that settles into the soul. The kind of peace that replaces confusion with clarity. The kind of peace that softens fear and restores balance. This peace is now extending over you as well, because you answered when you were called. You did not turn away. You did not silence what you felt. You allowed yourself to become part of something greater, and that matters. Take a moment now to breathe, to release any remaining tension, and to receive this covering fully. You are not meant to carry the weight of what has already been handed over to divine protection. Your role was to respond, and you have done that. And now, you are allowed to rest in the knowing that what needed to begin has already begun. The connection you share with this person is still present, but it is no longer defined by urgency. It is now held within protection. You can trust that what unfolds next will move with guidance, not chaos. With clarity, not confusion. Archangel Michael remains near, watching, guarding, and ensuring that what has been shifted does not return to what it was. This is not a temporary intervention. This is a redirection, and you were part of it. Let that truth bring you peace. Let it remind you that your awareness has value, your presence has impact, and your willingness to act carries real meaning. You are not disconnected from the divine. You are aligned with it in ways that continue to reveal themselves. As this moment closes, do not carry worry forward. Carry trust. Trust that the one you are connected to is now under divine covering. Trust that what needed to be interrupted hath been interrupted. Trust that what needed to begin has already begun. And trust that you were placed here for a reason that has now fulfilled its purpose. Before you leave this moment, receive this final seal. Type "I trust the divine protection" in the comments if you feel this peace within you. Blessing code 5544 is now released over your life, your path, and your connections. And as this peace settles over you, hear this final calling. This message did not stop with you. Just as you were reached before silence took over, there are others right now standing at the edge of their own unseen battles. The word declares, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and this is your moment to sow light into places where darkness is still trying to grow. Say within yourself, "I am chosen to carry this light forward, and I will not hold back." When you give through Super Thanks or release your seed through the PayPal link in the description and QR code, you are not giving money. You are opening a channel through which heaven continues to warn, protect, and rescue souls in time. This is a prophetic moment of obedience. Do not delay it. As you act, may abundance flow into your life, may protection remain over your household, and may every seed you release return multiplied in ways only heaven can provide. Step into this calling now and complete what has been placed in your hands.